Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
The countdown to the 2024 NFL drafts is truly underway. Mock draft season has been here for a while, but it's officially mock draft season on Go Time Dolphins. But also, it is the return of the duo, Charlie and Kadeem. Shout out to 5 Yard League for filling in for me while I was away. Charlie Touche, how are you?
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast. Kadeem, congratulations, bro. You got married. You're in Cyprus. Me and 5 Yard League didn't know where the terminology jump the broom came from. He said it came from medieval terms. So you jumped the broom. What's it like, man?
Jump the broom. Where's it come from? Because it's a symbolic way for enslaved people in the American South to recognize their marriages, and it's a way of essentially honoring those people. But no, like you and 5 Yard League said, not so much have I jumped the broom, but I have signed my free agency contract. I am off the market. That lifetime contract is signed, sealed, and delivered. It feels good. It feels good to kind of be off the market, to start planning for a house, all that kind of stuff. But obviously, it's football season. Like, all that kind of stuff can wait in the background.
Yeah, me and my boys will be like, yeah, I'm hanging my jersey up. My jersey going up in the Raptors. That's it. No more games. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is it. You feel me? But congratulations, bro. I'm kind of sorry that I couldn't be there. I talked to you off camera and personal. Turns out I got a little cold, Kadeem. I got a little flu right now. And it's crazy because I wonder if I would have got this, if I would have went to the wedding. Like, that would have been like the past 3 or 4 times I went to see you, I ended up coming back with a cold. So it's kind of crazy how that works out, that I'm a little under the weather right now.
It's like your body knew that you was meant to see me, so like, I'm shutting down. Even though you didn't actually make that trip, your body just shut down and said, nah, not even going to risk it. Like, nah, it's all good. Yeah, sorry to hear you have a cold. But, it's not going to stop us from having a great discussion over here on Go Time Dolphins.
Already. So it's mock draft season. This is mock draft 1.0.
Yes.
Mock draft 1.0. Me and Kadeem Simmons are together. But I can't wait. I cannot wait. What we got, Kadeem?
Yeah, just very, very quickly before we jump into the mock draft, have you seen the news or heard the news that Dolphins have started their off-season voluntary program today being Monday?
Yeah, I seen something on social media. I'm not really on social media that much right now, but I seen welcome backs and stuff like that. So the voluntary workouts, which are kind of mandatory workouts, but they're not mandatory, they're voluntary. It's weird how that works. But they really want to see you back in camp. But I like it, bro. I like this is where we are.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone like skip the voluntary workouts, but I think the big news is that QB1 Tua turned up. I think it was his luau last week where he said that he wasn't skipping any workouts. Like, even though his contract isn't signed yet, he will be there. People question his work ethic throughout the off season. The off season is still ongoing, but Tua was there. He said feel like he never left, and once again, it should put to bed any rumors or discussion that he's going to miss any time, despite the fact he hasn't signed his deal yet.
QB1's not holding out. I can't remember the last time a quarterback held out, by the way. Like, just a quarterback. I don't remember the last time a quarterback held out. Tua's not that guy to hold out. We're going to be all right. We're actually going to be good because, hey, you notice he is kind of slimming up. Did you see that?
Yeah. It's like, and it all makes sense given that last year the concern was staying healthy, so he bulked up, done some jujitsu, all the good stuff, and now he slimmed down. Like it seems like the bulking up. He never got fat before people say he did, but he like added more muscle and mass to his body type, and interesting to see how that pans out and works out once the season starts.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right. Shout out to Cat for Life in the comments. You know what I'm saying, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. I like it. Kadeem, bro, I had a question for you. You ready?
I'm ready.
So you weren't here. You missed the last episode, and I had to hold down the fort. Shout out to 5-Yard Lee. Help me hold down the fort. How come I don't have my own box when you not on the episode, bro? Why I gotta be in the Kadeem Simmons box?
That is my fault. I did say to you that I would do a Sherrod Steve and Charlie box because we thought Sherrod Steve would be on there, and I also said I'll do a Charlie and 5-Yard Lee box. I was busy packing the night before, so didn't get time around to do the Charlie and 5-Yard Lee box. And when you weren't around previously, and it was myself and 5-Yard Lee, then yeah, you probably could have asked 5-Yard Lee to do it, and he probably could have done it for you. But yeah,
I just feel like when you're gonna get a Kadeem Simmons and 5-Yard Lee box, that should be the time to get a Charlie Touche and 5-Yard Lee box. I'm just saying.
But when am I not around for it to be yourself and 5-Yard Lee? Yes, it happened that one time, but I'm just saying. But no, like there will be no, it's not even a secret. I want to get to the point where we have like a Kadeem, Charlie, and 5-Yard Lee, or Charlie Wilson, or friend of the podcast, Trevon Holland. Like that's what I want to get to, and it'll be coming very, very soon.
That's what's up. Let's get into this mock, bro.
So before we start our mock, I was messing around because as you do, and I want to show you. I've done the first 20 picks, and this is where I got to before I made my pick. So if you are listening on the audio, Charlie, who went at pick 20 to the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Pick 20 was Brock Bowers. Fell all the way to pick 20 to the Pittsburgh Steelers in this mock. I will say this though. Brock Bowers, one, is not going to fall to 20, and two, Pittsburgh has Freiermuth. So I don't think they would double down on tight end. But I'm telling you, bro, Brock Bowers starts sliding, the juice is going to be flowing.
It was funny because as I was doing this mock, the only thing I could think was how far is Brock Bowers? Like once Brock Bowers went past the Jets or the paper planes, I was like, oh, this can be an interesting mock draft. And yeah, he fell to 20. I didn't make the pick. I didn't do anything. But let's restart this. It is on a slow speed, and I think it is. Oh, now I got the whole thing again. So we have Miami. How many rounds are you thinking?
We don't have a third round pick, right?
No, but the chances are if we trade back, we could pick up a third round pick. As if we're doing trades or not.
Let's just do a 4-round mock draft right now.
4-round mock draft. Put it on slow. Let's call
See
it
what happens.
Mock 1.0. Charlie, you are I'm not going to say a betting man, but you like to put your money where your mouth is. What's the chance?
I think it's fair to say I am a betting man, and I do put my money where my mouth is. That's fair.
What are the odds on as we get to the Dolphins pick in this mock? I accidentally go back. We've got to start again. Given that I do that quite a lot when we're doing mock drafts.
I would say that's plus money right there. That's like plus 150. You
Cool.
put 100 down, you get 150 back for that. That's more likely to happen than not.
I'm confident that I won't make that mistake. But if you've been here before, then yeah. As the Dolphins get onto the clock, we will discuss the trade options, who's there, all that kind of stuff. Without further ado, let's get this thing started, and I will talk through the picks as they happen. So, Chicago was on the clock. First of all, JJ McCarthy went number 1, Caleb Williams went number 2. Unrealistic, but it is what it is. That's where we are. So, Caleb Williams picked number 2 to the Washington Commanders. Pick number 3, Jalen Daniels. Pick number.
3 quarterbacks in a row.
Yep.
Arizona goes Malik Nabers.
Pick 5.
Yeah, I guess that's not. I guess none of this. That wouldn't be realistic because Marvin Harrison Jr. probably would have went first as a first receiver. But let's say gas mask happens and Marvin Harrison Jr. falls back.
I think it's gas mask to quite a few teams, given that Caleb Williams didn't go first overall. But it is what it is. Tennessee have taken Marvin Harrison Jr. Cool. Falcons at 8 are picking. Is it Quinn Mitchell, the cornerback?
Yeah, from Toledo.
Yep. Chicago at pick 9 are picking Drake May. Makes sense. They don't have a quarterback right now. The paper planes.
Well, yeah, technically, yeah. Okay.
So the paper planes have picked Fatanu, the tackle from Washington. This isn't the most realistic draft, given that Joe Alt is still on the board, as is Brock Bowers. But
dang, I'm kind of disappointed in this mock because last year we had some pretty realistic mocks. Like, this is some good stuff right here. Did Chicago pick a quarterback first?
They did, yeah. They picked JJ McCarthy from Michigan.
So they picked 2 quarterbacks in the top 9.
I don't want to go back and mess it up.
It's cool, but I think they picked a quarterback at 9 too.
Yep, they picked 2 quarterbacks. Yeah,
yeah. This is bogus.
But let's I know we don't all the time in the world, but let's restart that because that's just mental, and it's the exact same mock we used last year. So why is messing around?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Kadeem. My plus 150 would have cashed out just now since we restarted.
What? No, that wasn't a mistake.
Yeah, I'm just saying we restarted. It wasn't a mistake, but it's just not about the mistake or not. It's will Kadeem restart the draft or not? Plus 150. I would have won $150 just now.
I thought I said accidentally restart, but it is what it is. Right. Starting again. Chicago number 1 take Jalen Daniel.
We're good. Let's ride.
Washington take Drake May. This is insane. The Patriots pick JJ McCarthy. Caleb Williams still on the board. Arizona takes Malik Nabers, wide receiver. The Chargers take Marvin Harrison Jr., probably the most realistic thing that's happened so far. Caleb Williams on the board. Pick 6, Joe Alt, the tackle from Notre Dame. Pick 7 is Fashanu, the tight end from Penn State. Pick 8 is the Falcons, Caleb Williams. Cool, fair enough.
Gas mask.
Chicago do not pick a quarterback with pick 9. Chicago picks Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver. Fair play. So the East Rutherford paper planes at pick 10 select Romeo Adunes from Washington, wide receiver. Charlie, if this is draft night, Brock Bowers on the board, pick 11. How close is your hand to the phone?
It's not on the phone yet. He's not gonna go at 11. He could go at 12. So I was just filling it out, and I said 13. Like when he gets to the teens, we need to start filling it out because Minnesota in real life is probably going to go quarterback. I think Minnesota goes Michael Penix Jr. in my opinion. So then you have Denver. Denver could get creative. If they went Bowers, I would not hate it. But everything after 12, I'm on the phone.
Cool. So Minnesota picks Byron Murphy. I'm so bad name right now. Murphy, the defensive lineman from Texas. Denver at 12 pick Arnold, the cornerback from Alabama. So Brock Bowers is still on the board at pick 13. The Raiders select Kool-Aid McKinstry, cornerback from Alabama. Charlie, how close is your hand to the phone right now? Pick 14, Brock Bowers still on the board.
It's already on the phone. I'm calling every team between me and the Saints at pick 14, asking them what's going on.
Do you want to try and make that trade now?
No, because I feel like this is too much trade compensation to move up for a tight end. When if we don't get them at 21, we could just trade back and acquire a third. So if we could get it closer to us and only lose, minimum compensation, that's fine. But you don't want to lose a lot for Brock Bowers for a tight end, but I do think it's a game-changing tight end.
Cool. So pick 14, the Saints select Latham, the tackle from Alabama. Pick 15, the Colts select Dallas Turner from Alabama, the edge rusher. Pick 16, the Seattle Seahawks select Jared Verse. And pick 17, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Latu, the edge from UCLA. 3 picks left before the Dolphins are on the board. Are you calling any?
Here's my thing, Kadeem. The Oregon tackle, Fuaga. I can't pronounce the last name. He's a dude. So, and the Washington tackles, the tackle from Washington, Troy Fatuanu.
Yep.
Can't pronounce his name either. Both of them are dudes. So we have 3 picks and 3 players that we want on our team. Now we don't have to trade anything because we're going to get one of them for sure. And now I'm comfortable with taking whoever falls to us out of the 3 because we have a need for tackle, and I like the way this draft just fell to us. And to be honest with you, if all 3 are still on the board, by the time we pick, we could probably trade back a couple spots and pick up a couple pick.
Cool. So the Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock at pick 18, and they are selecting Donnie Mitchell, the wide receiver. The Rams at 19 are taking Wiggins, the cornerback at Clemson. So Charlie, you essentially have your ideal scenario. Isn't no matter who the Steelers pick, the Dolphins have at least, in your opinion, in this mock draft, 2, I guess, surefire picks. If that makes sense.
Yeah, you got 2 starting tackles off the bat at your disposal. Now we can see if someone calls us at 21 to trade back, and if they're still on the board, we might oblige.
So Pittsburgh at 20 selects Brock Bowers. This mock draft just has Pittsburgh selecting Brock Bowers. So we have 3 trade offers. Pick 1. So the first trade offer is the Cardinals. They are offering pick 27, pick 71 in the 3rd round, and a 5th rounder for our 21st overall pick. The second offer,
2025 5th round pick.
Thank you very much. The second offer is with the Baltimore Ravens, asking us to move back to pick number 30. And they will give us pick 30, pick 130 in the 4th, and then a 3rd and a 4th rounder in 2025. And then the final trade offer is with the Patriots. They are asking us to move out of the 1st round entirely, and they will send a 2nd, 34th overall, a 3rd, 68th overall, and a 4th round pick in 2025.
I got to be honest with you, Kadeem. That Ravens compensation, a 3rd and a 4th round pick in 2025, while the team's going to have to use the draft to rebuild because we don't have the capital in free agency, this would be really good. So we'll move back 9 spots in the 1st round. We'll still have the 5th year option. We'll pick 30th overall. All of our tackles that we wanted probably will be gone. But we get a 4th round pick this year, and then a 3rd and a 4th in 2025. I'll be honest with you. That would probably be the trade that I would accept. But there's another one that they offered the 3rd round. Wasn't it the first one?
The Cardinals, yeah.
Right. I think the Cardinals offered to move back 6 spots to give us a 3rd round pick this year and to give us a 5th round pick in 2025. So if you really try to hold on to one of these tackles, maybe you take this instead. What are you leaning towards, or are you just leaning towards just taking the tackle now since we need them?
I'm leaning towards the Cardinals, and it's not so much like it's a 3rd this year compared to a 4th this year. The Dolphins, as far as I'm aware, are going to have 3 3rd round picks next year, our own, and then 2 comp picks, basically. Another 3rd round pick, realistically, the back end of the 3rd round, that doesn't really do much for me, if that makes sense. 4 third-round picks is great, and he probably use some to move back this year. So yes, potentially you could this Raven trade could be pick 30, obviously pick 130 in the 4th round. But if you've got four third round picks, you can send 2 of them, essentially the one we have now and this Ravens one, to jump back into the 3rd. So potentially the Dolphins could have in this mock draft pick 30, pick 55, pick 130, and then 2 third-round picks. But outside of that, for me, it's the Cardinals pick. It's moving back 6 spots and still gives us a third-round pick.
The draft is deep with tackle. Even if these 2 tackles that I really, really like, both of them I really like, aren't there, we could still find one. That would probably be a plug and play too. But these 2 boys are game changers. So we're going to take the Cardinals trade. We're going to trade back 6 spots. We're going to get a 3rd round this year and a 5th round in 2025. And I like it because we get a 3rd round pick this year, add some depth, add a piece in 2025, and hope for the best in pick 27.
Cool. And before we accept that trade, good evening, IMAX, and thank you for the congratulations on myself jumping the broom. I greatly appreciate that. So accept the Cardinals pick. And the Cardinals pick.
Hey, I was thinking, I thought Cardinals might trade up to get a tackle. Actually, it's funny that they didn't take one of our tackles.
They didn't know, so they didn't take a tackle, and then the Eagles took a corner at pick 22. So right now, where the Dolphins stand, there's still 2 tackles on the board, and the Vikings.
Can you scroll down?
Yeah, of course I can.
Yeah, scroll down a little bit. Because Mims from Georgia is still there too, and he's a tackle. He's not the other 2, but he's another plug and play. Jackson Powers Johnson sitting there. Like, we got some options, bro. I thought about trading back up to get one of these top 2 tackles, one that's 19th overall on the big board and 15th overall on the big board, but we can sit still at 27 and take and select the O-lineman for sure.
And what we do know is that the Dolphins have scheduled a visit for not only Jackson Powers Johnson, but also Tyler Guyton, the tackle from Oklahoma, who are both still on the board as well. So, yeah, there's how many picks with the Dolphins pick? 2, 4, 5 picks, and there's essentially 5 offensive linemen. So we are still sitting pretty. So
I think it's only 4 picks, but we're good. Let's do it.
You're right. It's 4 picks.
We'll sit still. We'll sit still and let's see what we get.
So the Vikings at pick 23 select Dallas Robinson, edge rusher. The Dallas Cowboys select Troy Franklin at wide receiver. The Green Bay Packers select Fuaga, the tackle, Oregon State. So that's 1 off the board. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at pick 26 select Xavier Worthy, wide receiver. Charlie, before we look at the trade offers, do you care at all?
So, first of all, I want to say I hope the Buffalo Bills take Xavier Worthy because he ran that 40 and they just think he's just lightning fast and they're going to replace him with Diggs. And I don't think he's going to pan out like for what Buffalo wants. But in a real life situation, I would want to take my tackle right here because that's we gambled. We won the gamble. One of them fell to us. He's looking at us in the eyes. But the Texans just called us and said, "Hey, we want to give you 2 seconds to move out of 20 the 22nd pick. So we'll give you the 42nd selection, the 59th selection, the 123, 189, 238. So basically, in essence, 2 2s, a 4th, a 6th, 2 7s, and a 2025 third round pick. Kadeem, I can't do it. That's a lot. I ain't gonna lie. That's a lot. That's a lot. But I need my tackle right now. Teron Armstead is not promising. This tackle that we select will be the future of the Miami Dolphins. And I like, Man, that was a lot of compensation because you could do some stuff with that, but I'm gonna just take my pick. So the Panthers are here too. What did the Panthers offer us, Kadeem?
The Panthers are offering us the 33rd overall pick, a 2025 third rounder, and a 2025 fourth rounder for pick 27. And then also the Patriots have called as well. They're offering pick 34, pick 193 in the sixth round, and then a 2025 third rounder for pick 27. Like you said, the Texans is the only one that I guess I would think about, because essentially having 3 seconds would allow you, if the board kind of falls, to essentially get 2 offensive linemen, or at the very least an offensive lineman, a wide receiver if you want one,
D-tackle.
and probably defense. Yeah, but
you could go interior O line too, because you're gonna have pick 42, pick 59, and pick 55.
yeah,
Like you're gonna. I ain't gonna lie. Real life, Chris Greer takes this trade. He's gonna take this trade and he's gonna flip it, and he's gonna have 3 second-round picks. But for me, I'm taking a tackle here.
cool. So let's jump out. You taking Troy Fatanu? Is that
Yes.
the obvious one?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't see any reason to take anyone else. Although when we do have Charlie Walton on here, I do want to talk about Cooper DeJean as the potential Carl Hamilton in Miami. But no, at pick 27, the Miami Dolphins select Troy Fatanu, tackle from Washington, and he gets an A+ grade. And 3 picks later, Baltimore just essentially picked Cooper DeJean, who is kind of compared to Carl Hamilton, who the Ravens took last year and had a stellar season. But Troy Fatanu, an A+ pick. Pick 31, the 49ers are selecting Morgan, the tackle from Arizona. And at pick 32, the Kansas City Chiefs are selecting Coleman, the wide receiver from Florida State. That is the first round finished. Charlie, what are your thoughts so far before we jump into the second round?
2 Shades 24 coming out soon, and I will tip something on 2 Shades 24. Keon Coleman, that was just selected by the Kansas City Chiefs in this mock draft, is on 2 Shades 24. If the Chiefs got Keon Coleman, bro, the league is in trouble. That sucks if that was real life. So first round in the books, we were able to acquire a 3rd round pick, Kadeem. We got a starting generational tackle on our team by sitting there. We moved back, sat at 27, and we still got him. This is the win. Even the computer gave us an A+ pick right there. I like it.
Yeah, same. I'll be completely honest. It's not the most realistic mock draft. The NFL mock draft database simulator kind of let us down so far, but hopefully it can pick itself up. It's something we used last year, went down really well, but this year not so far, a bit meh. So I'll try and speed through these a bit quicker. So bear with me. Carolina at pick 33. Oh, by the way, do you want to trade up at all, or do you want to stay at 55 so far?
Yeah, I thought about it, and I thought about trading up. I thought about taking that Texans deal and then just trading back up to get the tackle. But we're all right. We're just gonna sit still until something happens.
And are there any players you would consider taking? You consider trading up for, like we spoke about Brock Bowers, or we just consider 55 regardless?
If Jackson Powers Johnson is in striking range, we will trade up to go get him.
Cool. So pick 33, the Panthers select Braswell, the edge from Alabama. Pick 34, the Patriots select Xavier Leggett, the wide receiver from South Carolina. Pick 35, the Cardinals select Tampa from, funny enough, from Iowa State, the cornerback. Washington select Melton, the cornerback from Rutgers, at pick 36. The Chargers select Sanders, the tight end. A lot of buzz with him. The Dolphins liking him quite a bit. Not surprising. They do want a tight end despite picking up Johnny Smith. The Titans at 38 select Mims, the tackle from Georgia.
That sucks because I might have double dipped the chip, but we got our tackle. I'm not tripping. Tyler Guyton's still there too. Tyler Guyton's legit from
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
like I said earlier, the Dolphins have him scheduled for a 30 visit in the next few days. The Panthers at 39 select Sweat, the defensive lineman from Texas. Washington at pick 40 select Newton, the defensive lineman from Illinois. Green Bay at 41 pick Wilson, the linebacker from NC State. Houston at pick 42 select Graham Barton. Graham Barton's an interesting one. He's essentially can play any position along the offensive line. No one quite knows what his best position is, but apparently he can play any position to a high level. I'm pretty sure 5-yard Lee would disagree with that because he's very much essentially, if you can play all five, it's because you can't play one pretty well. And I saw you and him discussing the downfall of having Liam Eichenberg move so much, obviously in his time at Miami. What do you make of Graham Barton?
He's a utility player that can play all across the line. But just because he can play all across the line doesn't mean you can't keep him at one spot and have him develop at one spot. So to take him in the second round is a bit luxurious. So if a team did that, it's because they already have pieces that they can feel like we're going to put him in one spot alone.
Fair play. At Falcons at pick 43 are picking up Jackson Powers Johnson. So Jackson Powers Johnson off the board, pick 43 to the Falcons. The Raiders at 44 select Sue Mattia, the tackle from BYU. The Saints at 45 pick Tyler Guyton. So these offensive linemen are now flying off the board. Dolphins pick in essentially 9 picks. The Colts at 46 are taking Michael Penix Jr., the quarterback from Washington. The Giants at 47 are taking Bo Nix, the quarterback from Oregon. The Jaguars are selecting McConkey, the wide receiver from Georgia. The Bengals at 49 are selecting is it Oho? Thank you very much. The defensive lineman from Clemson. Pick 50, the Eagles are selecting Polk from Washington, wide receiver. 51, the Steelers are picking Cooper Beebe, the offensive lineman from Kansas State. Another one, Dolphins have been mocked in quite a few drafts. The Rams at 52 are selecting Rakestraw Jr., the cornerback from Missouri. 53, Eagles are taking Colson, the linebacker from Michigan. Pick 54, the Cleveland Browns have selected Edwin Cooper, the linebacker from Texas A&M, and the Dolphins are on the board once again. So a lot of guys we discussed are off the board. The main one obviously being Jackson Powers Johnson and essentially Graham Barton, Tyler Guyton. What's your thoughts right now, pick 45?
So pick 55, you mean?
Yeah, 55, apologies, yeah.
So at pick 45, Tyler Guyton went out the board. And I was thinking if he falls a couple more spots, we're going to have to trade up to go get Tyler Guyton. Then you have 2 tackles. Well, in essence, you'll have a tackle and a guard. And your line is looking really, really good all of a sudden. Connor Williams comes back in the middle of the year. Connor Williams is not a Miami Dolphin, but I imagine he didn't get signed yet by anybody. So when he is ready, I think Miami has first dibs on him. So you pick up 2 tackles in this draft and then bring back Connor Williams in the middle of the season. I think one of your tackles will play for Teron Armstead when he is injured, and then the other tackle will play guard for the time being. But a little nugget, little insight on Two Shades 24. Zach Frazier is on Two Shades 24. And something about Zach Frazier. Shout out to Buffalo Bills GM. I can't remember his name, but he was on a Pat McAfee show. Can't remember his name. He was on a Pat McAfee show, and he remembered Zach Frazier off the top of his head.
Brandon Bean. Sorry.
Yeah, Brandon Bean was on the Pat McAfee show, and they were just shooting the stuff, and they were bouncing stuff around each other. and one of the guys on Pat McAfee show basically said, "Oh, what about the guy from West Virginia?" And then Bean was like, "Oh, you don't like Frazier?" And I felt like he kind of tipped his poker hand. Like, hold on, bro. You remember that off the top of your head. That's extensive research. You know what I'm saying? That's like, it's not like he was like, oh, who's the guy from West Virginia again? He knew it. He knew his name. He was taken aback. He was kind of surprised that the dude didn't like Frazier. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, Frazier's legit. So for us in this mock, Frazier is legit. And we're going to take Frazier. He's going to be an interior O lineman for the Miami Dolphins. And I imagine this is going to be a plus, a B plus or higher pick for us.
Do you not want to see the potential trade, or are you again Zach Frazier on the board? Have to take him?
We'll look at the trades, but I'm pretty sure we're going to take Frazier.
Oh, there are no trades. No, no offers. Apologies. So we have 5 trade offers, and I'll brief through them very, very quickly. The Ravens are asking us to move out the 2nd and drop back to the 4th, and so they give us a 4th, a 6th, and then a 2nd, 3rd, and 5th next year. The Washington Commanders are asking us to drop back to the 3rd round, pick 67, alongside pick 100 and pick 222. The Vikings are asking us to move back to the 4th round, and they give us a 7th, a 2nd, 5th, and another 5th next year. And then the New York Jets are asking us to essentially move back at the 2nd round and give us a 2nd, 4th, and 6th next year. And then 49ers offering a 4th, 6th, a 2nd, and 5th next year. So a 4th and 6th this year, 2nd and 5th next year for pick 55. Do any of those entice you?
All of them are enticing when you start talking about 2nd round picks of next season. But we need to win now, Kadeem. We have to win today and tomorrow. So, a 2nd round pick of next season is enticing, especially that first offer. It was more than just a 2nd round pick. It was pretty. I liked it. You know what I'm saying? But was this the first one? A 4th round pick, a 4th, a 7th, 2nd next year, 2-5 next year. It's just not enough. So I'm going to take Frazier because he's going to be the future of the Miami Dolphins. This line is about to look really good.
So at pick 55, the Miami Dolphins are drafting Zach Frazier from West Virginia, and it gets a A+. Back-to-back A+ picks. Troy Fatanu, Zach Frazier.
Bro, we're killing it, bro. And that Zach Frazier, I knew it was gonna be quite the pick, bro. That Zach Frazier is gonna be a dude. And I expect around 55 in the real draft, he may not be there.
I can concur. I can see that happening. So I will fly through the next round essentially. So if anyone of note sticks out, I'll stop it. But we are next on the board at pick 71. We are at pick 57. And let's see if anyone decent goes. Corley's gone. Pearsall's gone. Nothing of note so far. Oh, we're back on the board. So, pick 71. We have an offer. I'll go for the trade offers very, very quickly. The Colts are offering pick 82, pick 191, and a 4th round next year for pick 71. The Seahawks are offering a 2nd and 6th round next year for pick 71. The Washington are offering a 2nd and 4th round next year for pick 71. And the Packers are asking us to move back to pick 88 and giving us pick 169 in return for pick 71. What do you think, Charlie? Any of those entice you?
Yes. Washington offering a 2nd and a 4th round pick of next year for this pick, a pick that we didn't even have. I may be inclined to take that. Who's on the board right now?
So according to this big board, the highest player left is Javon Bullard, the safety from Georgia. And if I am correct, the Dolphins have not brought him in for a visit. No, they haven't. They brought in Kalen Bullock and Millard Bradford, both safeties, but not Javon Bullard. Jonathan Brooks, the running back from Texas, is on the board as well, as are some edge rushers. If we hadn't taken 2 offensive linemen, I'd be looking at Christian Haynes, the interior offensive lineman from UConn. Adisa Isaac for Penn State interests me.
I think. Oh, you got Cameron Kitchens, the safety
Yes.
from the University of Miami. That'll be a nice fit. But we're gonna trade this pick, Kadeem, and we're gonna get a 2nd-round pick next year and a 4th-round pick next year. And this is a pick that we didn't even have, bro. We didn't have this pick before the draft started today. We come out with 2 starting O linemen for the Miami Dolphins, plug and play starters that will start this season, and we leave the draft with a 2nd-round pick next year and a 4th-round pick next year. This is, in my opinion, an A+ draft for us, 4-round mock.
So we are accepting Washington's trade of pick a 2nd-round pick and a 4th-round pick next year for pick 71. Accept, and then that essentially ends this mock draft unless you are desperate to trade back up
No, we're good.
in. Cool. I will let that play out. What I find really interesting, talking to people on social media the past few days, is that so many fans are basically saying the Dolphins need to get at least a 3rd-round pick by trading back, either in the 1st or 2nd round, most notably the 1st round, regardless of who's on the board, essentially. And I can imagine when we post this mock draft, when people find out that we picked up a 3rd-round pick and then traded out of it for a 2nd round next year, I can't imagine that's going to go down too well. But like you said, the ability to get a 2nd round next year is really helpful. And that doesn't mean we can't, like we said, we have minimum of 3 3rd-round picks next year. There's nothing stopping the Dolphins from using 2 of those picks to jump back into the 3rd round this year. Like, it's options. It is options. So let's save that. Charlie, what do you make of the little 2-round mock as my ad block is on?
I thought we killed it, bro. I thought we got 2 starters. The computer gave us A+ grades on both of them. So we got 2 A+ grades on both of our starters, a tackle and an interior O lineman. And so we satisfied some needs. And then we got a 2nd-round pick next year and a 4th-round pick next year. Unless we got somebody in mind for that 3rd-round pick that you said everybody wanted, like, oh yeah, you gotta get a 3rd-round pick for what? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got somebody out there that you need. Yeah, if that person is there, cool. But for now, nah. Let me get that 2nd round next year because we gotta hit on these players because our cap is about to be upside down.
Howdy, JML. He says, "What's up? We are just killing mock drafts." And again, thank you for the congratulations to myself and Adam Montana. And yeah, I think it's mock drafts, it's people speculating on social media. I understand it's a matter of, in an ideal scenario, you would get a stud in the 1st round. You would trade back, pick up, a great starter who's going to be here for the next 10 years. In the 2nd round, you pick another starter to be here for the next 10 years. And then the 3rd round or 4th round pick you acquired, you pick up someone else. In these conversations and asking people, no one can really say even the position that they would take with this 3rd or 4th round pick. Is basically just giving yourself more bites of the cherry or more bites of the apple, so you can fill out this roster, with more depth. And while I understand that, my whole thing is that if the guy you want is on the board, why would you? I can understand trading back, 3 or 4 spots and taking someone else, but yeah, I don't think picking up draft picks for the sake of draft picks doesn't always work, because I think you can give yourself 10 selections. If you get 2 of them right, it looks even worse. You're 2 out of 10 compared to 2 out of 5 or 2 out of 7.
Definitely depends on who those 2 were. But let's get into bonus time. You got something else before we go?
Just glad to be back, and I cannot wait to really delve into all this all this draft stuff we have planned over the next essentially 10 days.
Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
Charlie. Do you have anything special for bonus time?
Nah, I don't know if you're around, but friend of the podcast, Brandon Jones, hit us up and said he appreciates us. So I just wanted to tell you that he said that.
Yes, you said it on the 5 early episode, right?
Yeah.
No, I did hear that. Again, thank you so much to not only 5 early for filling in for me, but also friend of the podcast, Brandon Jones. And yeah, it just shows what a great guy he is, and he will be missed greatly, not just by the Dolphins team, but us as well. Quickly from me, I know you're not on social media much, but Monday saw the announcement by not only the Eastwood Threadpaper Plains, but also the Jacksonville Jaguars that they are bringing back their throwbacks this year. And again, Miami Dolphins social media has just gone, everyone bringing back throwbacks, be it permanent or, for a few games. Dolphins, what are you doing? We know we are going to get the 1 or 2, throwback games, and it's normally not enough. And we discussed last year about some of the uniform changes the Dolphins could make, especially that Miami Vice one. Happens every single year. Are you Charlie, are you kind of at the point now where uniform don't really matter until we start winning some playoff games?
Nah, I need my throwbacks. I would like for them to bring the throwbacks back. Like, why can't we do both at the same time? Why can't they bring back throwbacks and we win games at the same time? I'm saying, why does it got to be one at a time? But I'm more a fan of the gray alternate, as opposed to the Miami Vice. If we had added another uniform, I would like the gray helmets on, gray jerseys on, gray pants. I think that would be dope.
Yeah, like this team definitely has options. I can see why Stephen Ross is essentially refusing to change the Dolphins uniforms. Like we said before, he spent so much money making Hard Rock Stadium what it is in that color scheme. To essentially change it all now, it's going to cost him money. Keep it a special occasion, but with each passing year, each essentially disappointing season, and more teams embracing their throwbacks, Dolphin fans get more and more impatient. But no, Charlie, we once again killed that mock draft, even if it wasn't the most realistic. And I look forward to doing more in the next few days and weeks. And also, before I do shoot off, as it's nearly draft season, I normally like to do a draft giveaway. So join us for the next episode where I will be announcing the way to win this year's Miami Dolphins draft hat. Anything else from you, Charlie?
That's all I got.
Then we shall see you on the next one. Peace.